In this video, I'm going to review VZ Restore, an eye supplement that has all chances to be a scam. In fact, this product isn't even available at the time when I'm doing this video. So is it really a scam? Find out the answer in my VZ Restore review. Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. I'm Olive from mysupplementadvice.com. I'm a pharmacist and on this channel I'm doing supplement reviews and health tutorials, so don't forget to subscribe for more. The full version of this review is available on my website and you have the link in the description below. Now let me show you briefly what I'm going to cover in this VZ Restore review. First of all, I will give you a short summary on this product and then I will continue analyzing its main features, which you can see on this list. VZ Restore used to be a very interesting eye supplement. I say used to because it's no longer available, or at least this is what it seems. Its official website can't be found anymore. Its producer went through some transformations and they no longer offer the product, and there's very little info left on the supplement itself. Now, judging after its old info, VZ Restore surely raises a few question signs. That's because there are many weird facts about it. There's almost no info about its formula, ingredients, or doses, and it's also extremely expensive at first sight. So if you ask me, this supplement had high chances to be a scam. Since it's no longer available, it's hard to tell for sure, but given all the warning signs it has, I doubt it was a legit product. I personally recommend a much better alternative instead of VZ Restore, and I'm going to tell you more about it at the end of this review, so stay tuned. Now let's take a closer look at VZ Restore, starting with its claims and producer. This supplement comes in the spotlight with a couple of unbelievable promises. It's a cheaper alternative to eye surgeries, it's great for people who can't see objects in front of them clearly, and it can restore a person's vision miraculously. Now, most of these claims are 99% false. That's because no supplement can replace eye surgery and no supplement can restore a severely damaged vision. If there was any miraculous product, it would be used by everyone. Don't you agree? That's why VZ Restore's claims are most likely exaggerated. As for its producer, this supplement offers very little info. However, it seems to be made by a company called Integrated Naturals. But there's more. The brand is currently called Integrated Health, and it probably changed its name in the meantime because its previous name was slightly different. VZ Restore isn't anywhere among its current products. Basically, the brand went through some transformations from several points of view, and VZ Restore is no longer among their recommended and offered products. However, its current logo is very similar to the previous one. That's why you can tell that it's the same brand under a slightly different name. Like many questionable products, VZ Restore offers extremely few details about its composition. It claims to be based on 6 premium ingredients, but only 2 of them are slightly mentioned, and those 2 ingredients are very common in most eye supplements. Also, there is no dose for absolutely any ingredient. In other words, you cannot even tell what's inside this product. So why would you buy a supplement of this kind? Why would you pay so much for a product if you can't even tell what it contains? Now, let's take a closer look at its 2 known ingredients. As I said, you can find them in most eye supplements. First of all, lutein is a carotenoid with some really strong antioxidant properties. It reduces oxidative stress, it fights free radicals, prevents blue light damage, and it protects against macular degeneration. In fact, lutein is probably the most popular vision nutrient, mostly because of its very potent effect. A small dose like 5 or 10 milligrams is enough to make the most of this ingredient for your eyes. Next, zeaxanthin is extremely similar to lutein. It's extracted from the same source, marigold flower. It has the same antioxidant properties. It's effective against light damage, and it also prevents vision aging. Unlike lutein, zeaxanthin usually comes in lower doses in supplements. However, its effect is best when combined with lutein. And summing up, VisiRestore has a terrible composition, but that's only because it's hidden. Only 2 of its ingredients are mentioned, but they are pretty common in most eye supplements, and there are no doses for any. So there's no way I could recommend a formula like this one. Once again, this supplement offers very little info at this chapter. There are very few details about what kind of pills it contains, but it's probably formulated as capsules. However, the biggest issue it has is related to its dosage. That's because its serving size isn't mentioned anywhere. So you can't really tell how many pills you need to take per day unless you receive the supplement. VisiRestore does have several reviews on different websites. Still, none of them is authentic or written by previous customers. They are all third-party reviews, none of the writers has tried the product themselves, they're only rewriting the general info on this supplement, and some are even promoting the product. Now, since VisiRestore no longer exists on its producer's website, you can't find any opinions there. Even so, I usually avoid opinions from official websites because they tend to be biased. But when it comes to VisiRestore, it's really hard to tell how exactly it works. VisiRestore shouldn't cause any major side effect normally. That's because its doses are probably pretty low, it most likely contains only common ingredients, and its overall formula is pretty regular. Also, side effects tend to be pretty rare in vision supplements, so I would say that VisiRestore should be quite well tolerated normally. It might cause some small issues like headaches, nausea, or stomach pain, but normally this should appear in a very small percent of people. VisiRestore belongs to the expensive eye supplements category. In my view, it's way too pricey for what it should be. Now, this supplement used to be available only on its official website. As I already mentioned, it's no longer available there or anywhere else. But here are its previous pricing options. Its standard cost is $69 per bottle, but shipping isn't included, and even so there's no info about how much exactly it costs. And price gets lower for larger quantities. In the best case, VisiRestore costs about $49 per bottle, and this is a 6-month supply. You can judge for yourself that VisiRestore is definitely not worth it. It doesn't even give out its full ingredient list, and its actual ingredients are probably pretty basic. So it's definitely not worth even $49, not to mention $69 per bottle. Here's how I would sum up my opinion on VisiRestore in 3 ideas. By far the biggest problem of this supplement is its hidden formula. Since its ingredients are not fully disclosed, it's hard to know what to expect from this supplement. That's why I never recommend products whose ingredients are not given out entirely. Secondly, at this point, you can no longer find Visirestore. Its company went through some transformation and this product is no longer in their portfolio. So this is definitely not a good sign when it comes to its authenticity. And lastly, given all the question signs this product has, it might be a scam. It's true that it's no longer available now, but even that is a very weird fact. So I personally believe it might have been a scam back then when it was officially sold. So, is Visirestore worth the money or not? Well, it's definitely not worth it. It's no longer available either way, fortunately or not. But if you ask me, it might have been a scam at the time when it could be bought from its official website. It has many irrational promises and claims. Most of its ingredients are completely hidden. There are no doses for any compounds, no info about its pills or dosage. It's hard to find any user opinions about it and it's extremely expensive. So even if Visirestore was available right now, I would never advise you to buy it. But what do I recommend instead? The alternative I've been promising you since the beginning of this video is a product called Ludenol. It has some excellent ingredients and doses, a really affordable price, and the best quality per money ratio from the market. Compared to Visirestore, Ludenol is 10 times better. It's totally up to you what product you go for, but Visirestore is one that I would never recommend. If you're interested in finding out more about Ludenol, I'm going to leave you my video review of it in the left part of my screen, so check that out. Thanks for watching my Visirestore review. Don't forget to subscribe and see you next time.